안녕하세요. T1 스택스입니다. 그리고 이제 저희 팀원들이 오늘 바이탈리티에서 경기 보여줬던 게 제 입장에서는 진짜 말도 안 되는 걸 수행해줬다고 생각을 하거든요. 제가 콜을 내리긴 했지만 거기에 맞는 플레이 전혀 주눅들지 않고 그냥 자기 소신 있게 꿋꿋이 하는 모습과 퍼포먼스를 그만큼 냈다는 거에 일단은 너무 쉽게 게임이 굴러갔고요. 네, 그래서 너무 자랑스럽고 우승하지 못하더라도 저는 저희 팀이 얻을 게 많다고 생각을 해서 네, 자랑스러울 것 같습니다. 그냥 제가 이런 적이 몇 번 있긴 했는데 유독 어제만 조금 심하게 조금 게임 생각을 더 많이 했던 것 같아요. 내가 왜 이렇게 했을까? 그냥 뭔가 분위기에 휩쓸려가는 느낌으로 제가 콜을 많이 내렸었거든요. 근데 그거를 이제 끝나고 이제 저희 선수들과도 얘기해봤을 때도 선수들도 다 이해를 했고, 근데 저희가 조금 뭔가 이슈도 있긴 했지만 그걸로 이제 잘 풀어나갈 수 있었는데 제가 그것만 했었더라면 달라졌지 않았을까라고 좀 자책을 많이 했던 것 같고요. 저희가 어제 EDG한테 비록 졌지만 충분히 그것도 이길 수 있는 경기라고 생각을 하고, 그리고 저희가 졌을 때도 그렇게 기분이 나쁘진 않았거든요. 다른 이슈가 있기 때문에. 제가 엄청 좋아하는 선수들도 있고 제가 엄청 좋아하는 팀이지만 근데 스크림과는 전혀 다르다는 걸 저는 일단은 대회하면서 느끼기도 했고, 그리고 이제 저도 이제 EDG를 만났고 이제 저희가 다시 한번 만나서 붓을 차려간 것 같습니다.
It could possibly end in a 3-0, but EDG says not today, and they managed to force that game 4, and it almost got a little bit hairy for a minute there. Goes to OT, and somehow, some way, the Chinese #1 team, the world champs, managed to stay alive in this lower bracket final. What a game we witnessed, folks. Welcome back, GB, along with Brandon, Mimi. Here you can see Kong feeling the energy in that moment there. But Mimi, I mean, this was exactly what EDG needed, but it could have gone bad very quickly.
It absolutely could have. There was a real chance of a T1 comeback there towards the end, pushing things to overtime with a really nicely constructed attacking side. But for me, the biggest thing about EDG playing this comp is this is where they get to be at their most proactive, locking Kong onto the Neon. They have so many set plays, and that's what ends things out for them in that overtime.
Yeah, it's a little bit too much for T1 to overcome there,
Yeah.
but honestly, the way that went backwards and forwards as well in terms of them just opting into the fight, I thought T1 had pretty good adaptations as well. They were making sure to try and refight when they were going into these side hits because they knew that the flood defend was incoming, but they kind of, as it got later, they were baiting it out a little bit more.
Yeah.
EDG were getting punished for it, but it was just on a knife's edge the entire way. But EDG, they do stay alive in a tournament, they do keep their best of 5 dreams going, and they do keep the grand final dreams going too.
And 2 big reasons for that is Kong and Chi-Chu. Now, if you remember in Haven, we were talking about how good they were, but yet they couldn't get EDG over the finish line. This time around, we wanted to see the supporting staff step up. They did so, but of course, Mimi, you had Kong and Chi-Chu doing what they do best.
Yeah, this comp requires both of these players to step up big time. In these situations where Kong is being asked to send it in, following up the breach Teo utility, he was struggling in the game against Vitality. He was dying first a ton, but in this one, he absolutely stepped up. And when things went wrong, Brennan was Chi-Chu saving them so many times in these late round clutch situations.
Yeah, both him and Kang, I think they had so many pivotal kills in moments like this. I remember those just the rounds we were just looking at, to be honest.
Yeah.
They're on a knife's edge, whether or not Kang gets a kill in tunnel, whether or not they're able to find this, and this was the finish here. Going for an arcade fight when they've been conditioning really against that. I think there weren't too many instances at all where they were doing a heavy fighting in that instance. So just hitting T1 with heavy punches, making sure they could not get back up again to get that win, sealing it up into OT, bringing us to that 4th map of Split.
Lotus against Vitality. Map 1 here, Bind against T1. It was an EDG that were just slamming their head against the wall in the executes. But on this map, they showed EDG at their best, where they have some of those fast rounds, where sometimes they're sending it with Kong's Neon, but they're also showing us a lot of these slower rounds, how they can work the map, bait out the aggression for T1, and that kind of varied calling is what you really need to see for EDG, controlling the pace, changing it up in a match this important to them.
Yeah.
I will say, though, something that really sticks out to me me is the fact that for EDG, the way that they're winning, it's coming down to the wire. It's coming down to these very high pressure situations where you got to have those hero moments. And granted, that OT, they look quite dominant, but when we got to that point, it was looking a little shaky for sure. So I think EDG not out of the fire quite yet.
No, but there is one thing that I'm really looking forward to, and I think that they've showcased so far, at least at the beginning of that, is that they have the confidence to take these fights and win them now as well. I mean, granted, T1 are offering them at the beginning of Fracture a lot of opportunities to take these fights, and nice and easy, but it's the fact that EDG are taking them and now winning them and getting confidence behind them. That's the difference maker to me, because they know that they can do it. They know that they can win best of fives. They've been doing it all bloody year, for the past 2 years, in fact. I mean, their record since partnerships began is 14-0 in best of fives. So they know what it takes to win. They've been in sticky spots before, and I think as long as they get that confidence together, the more it's going to start settling into the back of these T1 players' minds about the despair. Wait a minute, hold on, we were playing with house money. The pressure was supposed to be off of us, but wait a second, we need that last map to close out, and that's often the hardest one to do.
Reverse sweeps are rare, but if there was a team to do it, I think you'd have to give the nod to EDG.
Yeah, that's the... Ooh, boy. When you put it like that, and when you put it with the reverse sweeps, it definitely puts the context in a very interesting conversation. We'll see, of course, how it plays out. But do want to let everyone know as well that tomorrow is actually a pretty awesome reveal that is going to be going down, because Valorant's new agent, a duelist, is going to be making their way out. Yeah, that's right. So make sure you tune in for the show match between Team International and Team Thailand at 5 p.m. local time. And of course, that will be followed by our grand final between G2 and the winner of T1 versus EDG. Don't forget, new agent reveal tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a lot of chats with that. But let's continue the conversation here while we have time. And also want to let everyone know as well that, you know, because we're going into maps 3 and 4, is a little bit of an extended break for the players, because, you know, your boys have been up there for a hot minute. So they need a little bit of a break, if you know what I'm saying. So let's continue this convo here and really discuss how EDG are starting to wake up on a lot of these key moments here.
A big thing for them on Fracture in both their earlier match on this map where they decimated G2 and this one today were the retakes. When they're playing this Neon comp, they do a really good job of taking proactive timings to get out of smokes as their opponent is sending in an execute, and quickly overwhelming with the fast pace this Neon gives, combined with the excellent supportive utility from Simon and Nobody. And Brent, something you were critical of from EDG those first 2 maps, which I agreed with, was that at times Simon's supportive utility felt a little missing, especially on binds, but that was a big turnaround here. I think the team play, the initiator play looked way better for EDG, and it won them a lot of these retakes.
Yeah, absolutely did as well. And Power and Kang is going to be one of your primary win conditions, I think, as you go even deeper as well, heading into Split, because they play comps where, you know, it's not just 2 duelists that can, maybe Kang can play off of it. There's somebody else just kind of initiating for him and taking the point of contact. He has to be the tip of the spear, but you kind of need to set him up to succeed in that capacity, because of the way that they play those comps on Split, unless they change it up, he's going to be playing the Jet as well. And we've seen him do just absolutely disgusting things on that role. But again, it's... For me, EDG are at their best when they're forcing you to play at their tempo.
Yes.
And that's what they did wonderfully on Fracture. That's why they love this Neon comp so much. And T1 were struggling to keep up, but it was on a knife's edge. But I have to harken back, I think, to the point that I really think is important here, is that EDG, they have that cold mentality that knows, they themselves know that they can win any best of 5.
Yeah.
They know that there's no back against the wall. It's do or die for them. And they've been in spots similar to this before. That is a very, very powerful thing. T1 themselves, this is new ground that they're going to be breaking for a lot of them. Honestly, it's going to be the peak if T1 manage to get over the hurdle for Buzz and Stacks themselves. They've never gone past a 3rd place mark at a global event before. And that is going to be a worry, I think, genuinely. I'm not inside the players' heads myself, but I think it's going to be at the back of their minds wondering, wait a second, we can break past that ceiling here and now, and it makes it awfully difficult to close out series like this.
Man, this is a tough one, because if you're EDG, you got to make a reverse sweep happen. And that's your only choice, Mimi. Make a reverse sweep, or else you're done.
But they have the momentum now off of winning that last map, and there are a lot of questions around the split. We've seen both teams play it thus far at this event. The last showing for T1 was their dominant win against Team Vitality, the match that brought them here. But I still have questions around T1's play, because I think a lot of that game was Vitality showing in these very slow attack side mid-rounds where they weren't actually doing that much. And it was coming down to late executes when T1 had all their utility. They played great. The team play was on point, but they were at the advantage because of the way Vitality was playing so slow. And I think this is going to be a much bigger test against an EDG who is going to push that pace, Brent. Like you're saying, try and control the game here.
And I can't really remember as well and recall which side that T1 are going to be starting on, whether it's attack or defensive split. But it does make a bit of a difference, I think, as well, because exactly the same arguments where EDG can take control of the pace of the game, but especially on Fracture, which we just saw. On Split, they're going to have a different challenge themselves because it's going to be about slowing down a double duelist XX, which T1 are absolutely brutal with. They will rinse you in terms of their gunplay, but EDG have been showing signs of life that they can hang on in that regard. The fundamentals have been always there for this team. They've never really been missing at all in terms of the gunplay. So it's going to be deciding a lot, I think. But listen, we'll see when we get into it.
You have a lot of options when you're playing with this double duelist composition that we're seeing T1 lock in. I think it allows you to play that more slow, traditional style of split where you are playing super slow defaults on all your attack rounds, but you also have really incredible ideas with almost triple dive going in. Yoru TPing back, a raised double Sato, the Omen can be TPing into the mix, and you end up with these really overwhelming executes that can absolutely eviscerate side anchors. So I want to see EDG playing into a style where they're playing pretty heavy for mid control, going for a lot of flood retakes. You got to give a little and then fight back in, and that's something that they were very good at on Fracture.
Yeah. Hear the crowd as they're starting to get behind these squads here, and even the fans back home, you guys are voting for who you think's going to win, and you're still holding firm on T1, which, hey, you know, I mean, it makes sense. They're up 2-1. But look, there is a lot of hope for this T1 roster for sure, Mimi.
It's wild to see them in this position now, one map away from eliminating the world champs. The most underrated team at this tournament. They did not look anywhere near this good playing in Pacific. They had rosters swapping back and forth. They even brought that to this event, playing with both Carpe in the roster and then bringing Sylvan back in. No one expected them to be here, but now on a map where they are strong and one away from closing this out.
Yeah, and you know, I don't even want to say that they were underrated. They were just not even considered. They were not even, no one gave them the time of day, right? And here they are, one step away. But the problem is, as being mentioned before, that final hurdle might be the most challenging. And here come the agents locked in.
And there's a lot of worries for EDG off the rip here, I think, as well, because Izu is going to be everywhere at once. That's one of the benefits you have with the Yoru, instant rotations. But EDG, they now have the momentum. I think they've always got the belief that they can do it in situations like this one. And I think for T1 themselves, it's again going to be that firepower, man. You're running double duelists, it's all going to be about that as well. I think also going to have to probably keep an eye on Meteor. He's going to be trying to take liberties as well, just vacuuming up space, making sure that they can win a lot of those scenarios. But man, I'm hoping it's going to be a good one. I'm sure it's going to be.
Well, let's see if we can get to a map 5. I know everyone here wants it, so let's send it back over to Pansy and Ender for the call.
Wouldn't that just be a treat? But there's some new things on the playing field, right? For EDG, momentum now beside them. They made it through Fracture. But for T1, we've got some switch-ups here.
I'm so excited to see Izu back on the Yoru on this map. This will make his 4th unique agent in the series. The first time we're going to be seeing him walk in the duelist. He has been on fire on this agent. Him and Buzz, the tag team, the dynamic duo, have been excellent. It'll be the first thing EDG have to break in this attacking half.
EDG, can they show off their pedigree here? Reverse sweep, the words almost feeling unfair to whisper. But for now, first moves made. Mid is already controlled.
EDG putting a lot of pressure here, even getting tagged on through the smoke. They've decided to leave Kong Kong over into vents. He has the option to maybe even pinch into the A site while the rest of EDG work heaven.
Yeah. Simon having a little swing up there with Chichu, but no one's really responded. Okay, Chichu does see Buzz, but that's it. They're not getting masses of information here. And all in the meantime, they are working towards A.
This is a great round from EDG, baiting this out completely, and Kong Kong is here so quickly.
Yeah, he's in the right place. Meteor, I don't know if he actually gets... Yeah, he just sees him on the swing! Meteor gets away with murder! Pop flash bye-bye! Nobody good trade. Better positioning from Meteor again. Just catching them off. They're dropping like flies! T1 stand tall with the first found.
really seemed like EDG had worked the map nicely, faking that up into B heaven.
Yeah.
But T1 got all the opening fights. Meteor continues to impress. Izu on backside deals with at least the one before he's knocked down. T1 don't really miss a beat after letting Fracture slip away.
Nice little spark of rebuilding that confidence here for T1 as well. Obviously going to feel a little sour. Which replay we're hearing. Certainly not live into this one though. For this round, not yet so thrilling. But we are away. Buzz going to note a lot of presence here, a lot of early intention. Stack's going to commit, should try and support him.
EDG have this wall they can sort of bunker behind if they can manage to get on site. Could give them some advantages, but I love where Buzz has found himself. Overcommitting to the spray though, and he's just about out of there.
How is he still standing? And Stax is saving the day. T1 look immovable, holding this down. How is he Hopefully we can fix that up for you guys. Oh, that is awful strike after. But Smoggy is going to make it go a bit, but it's easy to close out the round. T1 up to 2.
Coming into this next round, T1. Couple of Guardians, the Bulldog as well.
Fingers crossed. Not done yet. But this is a big round, so we'll power through. Bonus here for T1. Decent purchase. And have a look at Izu.
Yeah, a bit of a mid-walk with some baiting from Buzz.
Nobody the one to a little bit of a glance so far. Rowlet not going to explore far enough yet. But I'm still looking at Izu here. As said, a man of many talents, it feels like. Capable in so many ways. This time, gonna feel threatened here. Cool and composed, and he might catch Kung Kung, and he does wait his time. The bonus looking deadly already. Buzz holding down the corner, nobody there. EDG clawing back in at 3 apiece, but Sylvan's position. Hey, this is the map that he's impressed me the most, playing on this Omen. Oh, right back to business for nobody.
He's just flattened.
Unbelievable.
But this round is awkward now. Meteor's taking the timing to step down into mid. EDG still don't have the sight. Stax's Guardian could do so much work.
Meteor? Does he get a bit of play in this? I don't know.
They think he's heaven.
God, Stax. A moment to shine. He takes away Simon and buys precious seconds. Done and dealt with by Smoggy. But Meteor's position could be everything. Takes away nobody. Knows where Smoggy is. Dodges against the paranoia. The TP. He ain't fooling for it. He's checking right. He's looking left. We know Smoggy ain't moved. He's played a risky game and he might be rewarded. Meteor swings and misses. Smoggy calm under pressure and needed for EDG.
Smoggy was the guy too back on Fracture when T1 were on map and series point to be able to show up, find a 3K, equalize, and come back eventually in OT. That round narrowly, very nearly slipped away from them. He kept his cool, him and nobody too, snapping around for that shot earlier was simply ridiculous.
But let's kind of put this again in context. That was a bonus, right? Like this is how competitive this is. They are on heaters. We do have Smoggy's ult there. I mean, how many far? Nobody's one away as well. Okay, that could be pretty impactful if they get that early. And Kung Kung is puffing up the chest. He wants to try and show that there is a threat towards ramp.
Yeah, EDG really want to push these players away. You want to have a nice little cross setup off of the rope, and Kung Kung's not looking at the right direction.
I thought he had the timing right, but Buzz plays peekaboo, coming in from the vents. Now he repositions EDG, gonna find it hard to pin him down here.
It's a weird one, because EDG, the Viper Wall is not really helping them get out into the site or into heaven. They've got to face all these angles.
I thought Chi-Chi found a window of timing, he didn't. He got caught by the Prowler, but nobody still succeeds. The A side looking more vulnerable, but they still have a player by screen.
I think they're wanting to go back over into B, right? Thinking about using a stun, maybe into vents. T1 have played so many of these maps to quick flood into sight, so maybe EDG have read the over-rotation, but T1 still have 2 leaning B.
They're in a bit of a fake here, but look at the re-explosion from Stacks, the timing! Oh, he can't control it well enough for the second. Good trade for Smoggy. Sylvan.
Sylvan's a rat.
The TP on site.
30 seconds left.
Oh my god, they have no idea. They're going to surely come this way. They don't! They turn around, look at the HP on Simon. He's got the spike.
There's only 20
Meteor,
seconds.
He can run. He can stall this out. He just got to buy time, find a safe position to play from. They've got to charge at him. 14 seconds. They can't stop. They can't back away. And it's to their death. Meteor holds this down with Izu. And look at the time. It's too little, too late. The plan cannot happen. T1 running the clock on him.
EDG just get paralyzed up in heaven. Kong Kong fell down early on into the round. Right, that was so strange. But then after that, they didn't really feel like they knew what they wanted to do. They tried to go for that fake into mid, but then as soon as they lose the player up in heaven, they go back into mid. It's just not going to work out for them.
It's a big round as well. Look at the effect on the money. It gives so much more momentum to T1, a big spiral potential, right? Keep this clean, couple more ults come online. Then you get the full hand of ultimates to run with up against a broken purchase here. Hero Rifle, however, is with Kung Kung. Maybe he can be a difference maker, but his mid-walks have felt very readable. We've already had Izu positioning down there. We've already had a lot of players dealing with nothing. How smart you got? Okay, EDG. Just go on half buys.
Oh dear. Meteor was trying to bait for the Yoru on the B side, and he just got picked off. And yet, Izu has stepped into the B main space.
Oh my god, the
EDG
3-play
waiting.
stack. That's so sick. But I'm going to be honest, T1, what are we up to on these rounds against half buys, against force buys? God, Smoggy. That's a stunner. Can't do much about that, but you talk about momentum, you talk about keeping clean. That ain't clean from T1, but god damn, that was good from EDG.
Quite a way to bounce back as well after losing the last round effectively on time.
What a tantalizing prospect this is as well, because it gets them back in the game. It skips the queue for the economy, right? They get to get right back in on a buy. The money's back in a good position. Yeah, the ult round will be coming up pretty soon for T1, but it's not going to be an impossible scenario now.
That's the thing. If EDG can just play these sort of like slower rounds, they can fish out and find some kills. That makes it a lot harder for T1, because T1, right, you've got the Nightfall, you've got the Yoru ult to head into the next round. Very like you come in, play a very weak side of the map and then a very strong side, and just be perfectly happy going for a retake. I think EDG's mission in this next round is to play a slow round where they can pick off some individual players to limit some of those key abilities.
Rifle kept, and a 3-2. I do want to see some of these shots back for the Mastercard Thrifty here. Lovely, God. And again, I did feel that maybe Kung Kung's approach towards middle was starting to get a little bit predictable, but what do I know? God, that was a round and a half, wasn't it?
Just the snappiest.
Yeah. T1 not liking what they saw there. Very early timeout for this too.
Yeah, maybe just even recentering a bit after this. You're looking at, you know, the last 3 purchased rounds. EDG going up 2-1.
Yeah.
And I feel like EDG, their 2 main looks when they played this map both today and in the past, it's either sort of slow mid-work or pretty quick ramps dive into freezing the rounds, resetting, looking to maybe even pivot back through mid eventually. I think there's options for T1 to either get creeps into B main, like we saw from Izu in the last round,
Sure.
maybe even take more active fights into an A main side. We saw G2 do that a lot versus EDG yesterday and just sort of blew open the rounds where EDG were trying to play A early on. Be something T1 tap into. Don't really have the purchase for it this time, but things they'll be thinking about for sure.
Opportunity now for EDG to build. Nobody's ult is there. 3 away for Simon. Quite a way off for Chi-Chi, but Kung Kung very close by. And hopefully some stability to come along with this, right? To get some financial backing on the money, build that buffer to be able to depend on But now, T1, I guess we asked the question, can you do what was just done to you? Right back at him. Early investment of utility to facilitate this pressure towards B main.
T1 put the Viper's Pit in mid as well, so not giving up on this round just yet.
Thanks for the smoke. Thanks for the kill. Thanks for the orb.
Yeah, if EDGs keep managing to find these picks onto B, that's going to be a problem for T1. Especially, it seems like a lot of the setups from T1 are just to have those bait switch-ups on the B site, so can't be getting picked off like that or it falls to pieces.
I didn't even realize they invested the Viper's Pit at
Yeah.
the start here. That's quite a bit to put in. Chichu. They've got contact on both sides. This is really hard for Izu. Does he have a way out of here? I don't think he does right now, so he's a little stuck on this. And now he's under scrutiny, cleared. EDG just stormed the site. And they're even fancying a bit more towards CT. You can see it on the minimap there. And they're going to control it. EDG stamping their authority into this round. Meteor, there's nothing more really to achieve here.
EDG are on the hunt. I mean, look at them. They're not slowing down. Take another, why don't you?
Nice.
And that's solid macro from EDG as well, right? Because even after they have the numbers advantage, Chichu goes for this lurk into A, and as soon as he sees the raise, he realizes if there's a stack, it's got to be over to the A site. It's time to accelerate into B. EDG sees that opportunity immediately, and there's only the one guy here, and that's not going to slow him down at all.
Okay, Operator coming into play, seeing that in the hands of Izu here. Big investment, has ult as well, still has stacks with his. Couple coming through here now.
It's hard to come into map 4 as well and be tasked to op for the first time all series, right? Be a little cold on that gun. But Izu has been so effective on the Yoru this year, this tourney. He's really had some breakout performances on this age and this map in particular.
I mean, the guy has done so much to switch his mentality. The amount of agents he's been playing.
Fourth unique.
Yeah, let alone the Operator to boot. But
A little off angle.
nobody might have heard the crowd get a little excited by that. I'm wondering. Don't matter! Izu got curious himself.
Yeah, Izu's not cold with the op.
No, he looks...
First op kill for the series, no problem.
Yeah, he looks good with this. Ooh, Kong saw a picks. Ooh, he almost got caught on that. Lucky boys, does that catch one or two? I got both of them there, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it did. So now they know Buzz is up here, however. He's ready to meet this. I think Chichu's seen him. Oh, maybe not, or maybe it wasn't called out. EDG do trade in well here to keep this at a 3v3.
Oh, and now with the Dimensional Drift coming in as well, T1 might be able to spot out all 3 players. They've snuck 2 players into backside as well. With only 30 seconds left, EDG are just losing on time.
Not again, right? We've had a couple rounds like this where they've really slowed down, where they've been held back, and Izu lands another. You're not getting up ramp. Find somewhere else to go. You're not coming through heaven. Go have fun elsewhere. He's unsure, though, a little bit fidgety with this Operator, but he's in the right place. Again, 10 seconds. Where else are you going to go? Where are you going? Izu! He's sending him down to hell. The second they step towards heaven is 2 more seconds. Oh! Stunning from Izu.
He's untouchable. The first op round all day. And he just takes them down one by one by one. First with a little op angle, peeking into mid. And then the double flickies. Ooh!
Pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Yeah, you know it's good when even the crowd's just like, what the hell?
Big round coming up here. Ultimates on both sides. EDG have 5 players ready to attack into A.
Going all in on this. Oh yeah, they are. There's nowhere to hide. Back towards Pillar, I guess. So fight forward. Fight for your life. Buzz takes Kong out of the sky. T1 hold. Silver there. Buzz again. T1 not letting him through. There's no access.
What a round from Buzz. Snapping around with the showstopper to take Kong out of the sky and then getting right up on top of the smoke.
Look at the ults they've invested. EDG. Yeah, they can buy, but they don't have what they want. This was an all-in round.
Look at that. Oh, I just love the way T1 are playing right now.
Kung on the op as well. But a quiet performance here from him. Singing his praises before, right, starting to warm up a bit in the previous map. Here, a little more quiet.
This map looking like Smoggy and friends right now. But Kung, so often when you'll see a defender pick up the operator, he'll ask to be tasked with that 1 versus 1. Put one in his own hands.
And what a different look already, right? Absent in middle. Leaving EDG to go for these wanders, go for these walks. Hold the extremities.
It's a really passive offline from Izu over towards B. All the way in backside. Teleport ready for a quicker rotate into A. This is what I'm talking about. EDG love these slow rounds. They're posting up Kong for the smoke to fall.
This off angle. Surely they clear it, right? Meteor tucked in this deep corner.
The Omen ult saw nothing in A main. Meteor has to be ready for it.
Oh, he is. He was locked in on one. Great trade out from Kung, very quick. But now do they expect Izu? As said, a very deep line here. He's going to be forced into a very unfavorable position, trying to find the timing to tuck into the corner, and he does. Evades everything. Oh, they almost line up for him.
They did.
Yes,
Smoggy's down to 4.
That's nothing to play with. And now he's getting surrounded, though. He still wants to fight this out. Tucked in the corner. What are you up to, Kung? What's the plan? To get a trade for Chichu? Maybe. But now a 1v2. How is this working out?
10 seconds.
10 seconds and stacks. He's playing it so calm.
In every single critical moment, that is where T1 are showing up. Come on! Izu's op has been ridiculous. I've got no idea what's happening in Kung's mind there. And yet it's T1 to pull through in those clutch moments. EDG are gonna have to call a timeout.
Yeah. And it looked good at the beginning, right? A lovely trade in for Kung there, kind of rolling out the red carpet. I felt they had a really good crunch in towards Izu, but super slippery from him. But also, where was the spacing? Where was the trading? Where was the timing to really capitalize on that?
EDG have had a consistent problem in every map of split they've played. It's because they're running the jet. They've never been able to clear backside B behind sign. We saw yesterday against G2,
Yeah.
They were abusing those angles. And here again, Izu puts himself in exactly the right position with the operator, right? You don't have the double satchel to go flying on in. Yeah, they tried to use the Teo nades to push him out, but he just walked on past those, still swung and was able to take his shot. You have to be way more precise with your moments, with your scaling, with your spacing when you move forward. Running a comp like this onto the B execs, or Izu's just going to keep running rounds like that against you.
Yeah, it only compounds the problems, right? We're now seeing 3 consecutive for T1. 7, 8, 9 looking real pretty for them. EDG off the back of a timeout now. Going to try and facilitate a buy, muster something together. We've seen them with some heavy hitting, half purchased, messy buys. They do it again.
Right, so that Prowler will confirm a real teleport from Smoggy. Not going to be any fake embeds. But Izu is once again in the weird angle in mid.
Yeah, and I like the versatility we're seeing from Izu already. I've been posted on towards that B side before. Certainly going to add to the paranoia there, but they're going for a contact play, which is quite bold. And Stack should be able to get good info on this. That's at minimum 1, maybe 2. Not sure what he's seen yet.
Teleport in. Smoggy has been the hero for EDG.
Yeah, he's the one who stepped up so far. He's going to have to keep climbing at this point. Notes another. Izu closing in. There's 2 on this side. A quick kill from him, but it's back down to a 2v3. The site not quite secure. Spike back in hand, and Izu wants to cook here. Gets himself a different weapon. Spots out the site. What's the plan? Izu wait on the paranoia and take the site back. Take the fight back to them. But Kung adjusts his eyesight. Checks towards CT, finds Sylvan. And yeah, he's getting slippery with it too. Izu good, but not good enough. EDG, give him a half buy. Put him under pressure. And apparently they get you around.
The quick pace into the B site there. EDG. I mean, it's a great combo to backside. Look at that paranoia. You've got the nades, the breach blast pushing players back into Smoggy's crosshair. And they were execing sort of before Kong even got there because he opened the round over on the A side of the map.
Yeah.
Smoggy said, give it to me, no problem. 14 kills for the Omen. Smoggy stepped up in a big way here in crunch time.
Spot on. Now, money for T1 also on the line here. Back and forth we go. Fragile for either side. Izu once again dedicating himself, at least early on, towards the B site in a little bit more of an aggressive angle.
T1 also playing doubled up in mid here. Meteor in the slam to the vent, and Kong trying to work that pixel angle off the smoke.
Portal closed. Cutting through.
Zoo.
Oh no.
Timing on this one. He does have an escape plan. But maybe he doesn't want to escape. He's seen enough! Sticks around for one. Dips out of there. Paranoia goes in. Sylvan now fancies his go at it. Would they predict him to be here? They're doing their due diligence, but still, this is tricky, this is tough. That's great from Sylvan, and now slippery from Izu. They don't know where he's gone to. They're getting choked out in B main.
EDG are moving back into their Viper. Chichu has lurked into A heaven.
Massive.
And yet Meteor is in mid.
Oh
Not
my
again!
God, and the patience pays! Meteor with two! EDG walking to their death.
30 seconds left.
All right, Chichu, you got to be the hero of the, I'd say round, but maybe even the hour at this point.
Lost.
Spike's gone, he knows it, 20 seconds. I mean, you could try and do damage, sure, but this feels futile. 10 seconds, and T1 will be grinning with this. That's going to be 7 for them. And what a lovely reposition from Meteor there, and Stacks. He just fancies a go, and that's why 7 rounds now for T1.
That's the second time EDG haven't cleared that exact same spot this half. And they're forced back into it because of the beautiful hold, right? T1 utilizing their teleports perfectly after getting the kills, calling in Sylvan to go into that exact same position. Backside that EDG cannot physically clear.
The atmosphere is shifting in here, though, isn't it?
Like
T1,
EDG,
yeah.
forcing Guardians every round.
And EDG look like, I've never seen them really look this lost for overall answers. Izu, again, this versatility. Showing variety in approach. We've seen him in various looks towards that B site. We have seen him in middle, but not this committed.
EDG have been scared away from mid. They're just trying to run execs out of the playbook now. And A will be the look. But Stacks, I think, is just going to catch the timing. Prowler only guaranteed to see one, and Chichu's been playing there consistently.
TP did just cycle off of timing for Izu. He did have it back towards CT on A. See maybe that consideration of rotation coming in, but he still posted towards middle. The rest of EDG patient. They're waiting on this.
Yeah, nobody's going to go mid and then drone this out. That'll see the op teleport away. It's time for EDG to speed up into A.
You gotta face the music, take the fight. We've been worried on some of the timings here, but they still got plenty. 45 seconds, and they creep closer, but this is all seen. It feels really hurt here.
I'm getting nervous.
Buzz holding down towards heaven. Kung gonna take the first steps, put his life on the line for it, and takes the space. Spots out. What? How did Stacks get that? I do not know. But now Buzz is in danger. EDG breaking down the door, barreling in. Simon and nobody in unison, doing what is needed here.
Paranoia for T1 to work with. Izu now blocked off the angle. He switches over into the rifle. Here it comes.
Oh my God! Smoggy! Blind, but it doesn't matter. T1 and EDG close enough here. This is going to be a belting second half. I can't tell you which way it goes, but we might be going the distance, or maybe we could have a new grand finalist.
One enemy remaining.
7-5 here. And again, for EDG, they need this to go all the way. It can't stop now. They can't drop another half. And for T1, in the lead, but potentially closing out this game and getting to the finals.
Yeah, almost uncharted territory for T1. They've had to come back in the second halves these last couple of games. Now that challenge rests on EDG's shoulders. And I can't help but be impressed and blown away with that first half out of Smoggy for EDG.
Yes.
This guy does not want to lose.
Without Smoggy, I don't think they'd be anywhere near close to 5 rounds.
No one on EDG is positive except for Smoggy. He's 16-8 right now. Having a phenomenal performance, almost willing EDG to advance. But this is where T1 challenge you more than ever, right? Rocking the double duelist.
Yeah.
Their unique style finally on form in this series. We finally have a map where they're going to be rocking it.
For EDG, time to lock in, boys. There's only so many ways you can put it, right? Trailing in this, quiet performers. EDG, you are considered the reigning champions, and right now you're trailing. Not just in maps, but in rounds, and Buzz off to a beginning. Takes straight up towards heaven, and look at B. There's only one player here. There's no one to defend this. The gates are open, but mid is a battlefield.
It's a bit of a mess right now. Buzz staying into hell. They've left Izu up on Raptor. This is a great position for T1 to hold B heaven.
This is crucial for EDG though, right? This is the one, the gap closes that scoreline that gets them back in this game, at least maybe with a chance here, but T1 waiting, Buzz waiting, and he does get contact, swing now in, it's Izu stacks, back to back, leaving Chichu barely breathing, and Simon in a 1v3, left, right, it doesn't matter, T1 get the pistol in the second half.
T1's pistols have been clean, and their post plants have been excellent consistently throughout today. The spots they find themselves in when they're under really no resistance on the site, right? Simon's trying to run on out of there. They know exactly how to navigate that. Even there, Izu swinging off this Hell player's contact. The two duelists for T1 working in tandem nicely.
Yeah, confidence for Izu here as well. I've got to say it throughout this. Him coming out and having a good performance in his duelist role, really nice for him, right? That can only bode well going forward. He's one of the players to opt for the Bulldog here. And Kung Kung being challenged away from this early angle.
He's not going to back down.
Nice Kung Kung. It takes everyone's kit of utility basically to humble him off the corner. He still fancies it.
Same time, look at A Heaven right now. Meteor is all the way through.
Meteor? He's got to hear that. Oh, the timing is just divine.
How is he between them all?
But there's 3-4 players here. This may be a read, but it might be a misread. And the crowd might give away the game. But for now, he's poised, he's patient, and he strikes. He sees it all. He sees another. But Chichu's here. Do they know about Chichu? They now do. Good trades, good positioning. Kung Kung trying to get overhearing time. Nobody fighting for his life as best he can. But still, Kung Kung, there's a time. He could do one of these. He's in the door. T1 deal with him easily. I mean, Meteor just found the perfect position to play from.
That was so nice. And the trigger discipline as well. The fact that he snuck through, and then the first rotate came over into A Heaven, there's no world in which EDG are going to be turning around. And that is a pressure point that Meteor is going to consistently be seeking. Right? Very limited information with this EDG comp. It's just the Teja drone. So as soon as that is down, the lurks are free game.
Kung Kung still trying to show dominance towards B main here. Does have the support from Heaven, from Smoggy as well. Oh my god, there is a brawl towards 8. No more of that lurk-in business. None of that, thank you. Kung Kung, you are getting a little dicey here, but he's just found a bit of cover to play from, but they are hunting him down actively. Support coming in from heaven. It's getting scrappy. Good trades here. Smoggy gonna keep it on level. Pegging, wait! T1! They win out on the site!
This could be the round that propels T1 forward. A 2v4 the EDG are going to be facing down, and I don't think they're playing it out.
They're calling it. I think they're calling it.
Wow.
I mean, Simon's on 7 HP. I can't believe it. This is the gateway round, right? This gets T1 up to 10. This is a technical bonus converted, so money's good. Walking away with a couple upgrades, probably. Looking at Buzz here. Does he get one? Yeah, he does. Okay,
Yeah.
Vandal, yeah, look at him.
They are set for a good long while now.
Oh my God, EDG, they're on the ropes here.
We'll see what they can piece together. EDG just needed any one of these first fights to go their way, but Smoggy was the only one that could get his.
나이스.
But that feels like the story of this map as well. Smoggy 17 to 11, putting up numbers. Where's everyone else? We've been singing the praises of Chichu, Kung, everyone on this roster has had their time in the sun. But it's going dark at the worst time possible for them. 10 to 5. Make it count, dig deep.
Two members of EDG forced down to nothing. Kong has the Vandal in hand, and they've left him up on his own. He has to show up.
Show up or show out, he's got to back away. Again, forced off the angle, put in a box, put in his cage, put back to bed, and chased down like an animal. T1, confidence, sky high now.
T1 are just unrelenting, hunting them down. EDG keep asking someone else to come to the fore. But now Meteor up in heaven, it's Smoggy every time, Pansy.
Someone help him. Sylvan instantly checks him though, doesn't let him build into the round. Simon, nobody. It doesn't feel like they've got much building here, Sylvan. Putting on a show. And it's down to 1, and they want it done. 11 now for T1.
EDG just getting scattered in these rounds. And you look at it, it is hard to be the reigning champions returning to another global event. No one in Valorant really has succeeded bar Fnatic the once.
Yeah.
And especially coming through a turbulent offseason, some of the biggest patch changes we have seen in Valorant. EDG have still been at the top of their game, but today it has not been the case. It is do or die now for the reigning champs.
It looks similar. It looks like a rinse and repeat. Kung, he wants it again. He's on 7 to 13. T1 have had his number. He's still sticking around.
Simon's here now.
Simon by his side. But that's 5 players. He has to excel, and he's dead. Izu breaks them down, and another. T1, rinse, repeat, and succeed. The site is theirs again. Chichu, nobody, Smoggy. They're a mile away, and 12 rounds is calling.
T1 smell blood in the water. Izu still holding the line, and they are unstoppable.
Oh, unrelenting. Smoggy trying. Try as you might, Smoggy. No one can say you haven't put in numbers, put in work. But this isn't a one-man show anymore. It's a team game. And T1 has 5 here. Looking on the money. Smoggy has to bow out of the round. The rifle, the best thing he can walk away with.
T1 are just the masters of their own style. The only team consistently playing the double duelist. We haven't seen a team as committed to this since the likes of Paper X. T1 took down Paper X to get here. They finally ran through DRX to take down the #1 seed of Pacific. They lost to EDG earlier in this tournament, but every single series it's been a revenge match, and every single series they've come out better.
EDG in the final hour, the final moment potentially. Call the timeout. And I can see it. Maybe the players have caught a glimpse, but even the fans now rallying behind the teams. They can feel how close this is here to something of a surprise. EDG, as said, reigning champs. A fantastic team, but not in form today. And T1, underestimated, absolutely. They've proven us wrong, round by round, game by game. And now they stand on the verge of the absolutely unthinkable, locking in a grand final.
For Stacks and Buzz to go 10 global events without being on the stage on the last day of the event. Now just barely off. For a kid like Izu coming into this team and just shocking everyone through the duration of this event.
What a star performance.
T1 team has just been ramping and building and building and building.
Look at what we're seeing on the minimap. Have a glance.
Is this the way we go out?
Is this how it ends? We face the music. We go down together. T1 rallying themselves here. And EDG up for the fight. Trying to show that fire. Show that determination. And they're up for it. They're pushing. They keep pushing. But Buzz answers back. You want a brawl? We'll give you a brawl. And Buzz having his moment. His time in the sun. And the one remaining factor, Chichu.
The MVP of the event thus far, going on a long walk through T1 territory. And there's two of the best he's got to take down to keep his team in it.
As the spike ticks, as Chichu steps closer to the site, T1 will feel it in their bones. Positioned perfectly, pressure not on them this time. Second by second, closing in on the thing that they've dreamed of since the very start here. Something of their wildest dreams coming true! T1 are going to the finals!
Absolutely no one thought this team could do it, let alone even be here today. Pacific's #2 seed coming into the event with a different 5 roster on the stage. But Sylvan joins the team, comes back into his starting spot. Meteor dominates throughout the day, the double duelist on point. And for Buzz and for Stacks to finally go the distance, to be here not bowing out in defeat, but to keep moving forward into the finals. It is a moment for Korean Valorant. It is a moment for T1.
Simply does not get better than that. Nobody can take this away from them. Facing incredible foes and coming out looking the better side consistently. They should be proud of this one, doing something they have not done before. And now the world watches, as who knows how far this team can truly go.
It's just been beautiful watching them ramp up over the course of this event. You know the peaks of the icons on this team. For a guy like Izu stepping up so massive, he played 4 different agents today. Played 3 different roles. Played the info initiator, played the sentinel, and finished off 19-9 on the Yoru.
Yeah.
He's the wild card of the team. He's the X factor.
Watching this back. I mean, it was a treat, right? This map felt like a treat. And I do have to note that EDG bowing out here to me is a bit of a surprise. But on the day, they looked flat. And this is them having to go back to the drawing board, reinvent themselves, and come out here in the future and show us again who they are as a team.
Yeah. It really is shocking. Couldn't see the consistent performances out of them, barring Smoggy in this final map. And yet T1 consistently had the answer. You think all the way back to the opening map on Bind,
Yes.
right? You had the Meteor Ace to kick things off in the first 15 seconds of round one.
How did I forget that?
T1 played such a beautiful VALORANT, working together, tandem VALORANT, side holding as two players. Then as we moved forward into the second map of Haven, proved that their macro was at the top level, outpacing, outmaneuvering EDG in so many consistent rounds and finally outshooting them.
This game, these boys winning this feels like a love letter to any long-term Valorant fans of what can be done here to take down the standing champions until this point. The show, the resilience matters. They have it in them. Absolute legends from the early scene, still standing at this point and locking in that first final. How can you not fall in love with it?
Tomorrow's gonna be so good. This T1 team consistently ramping up. G2 on the other side. It's crazy too, because you've got iconic organizations as well
Very
in the
much so.
finals.
What a game. Feels like a marathon. It really wasn't in the end, but real highs and lows of emotion here. Some absolute legends.
See Stacks
Finally,
and Buzz.
getting their flowers there. They've needed this for a while. They've deserved it for a while, but we've seen it in true form here today. Got to say it, G2 is a different beast waiting. They scare the life out of me.
They've been sitting, they've been watching,
Oh, yeah.
they've been preparing, and G2 with prep, terrifying. But this T1 team with momentum may just be the thing that can topple the Giants.
A true celebration for any T1 fan, any Valorant fan would have adored that. And a treat for you is to hear from two legends, Stacks and Buzz, in the Verizon post-match.
And we have our grand finalists. Everyone, give it up for T1! Huge congrats, Stacks and Buzz. Now, Stacks, I'm gonna start with you. For so long, everything, every tournament, felt like it was so close, yet so far away. I mean, but this time, you finally made it. So, what does it feel like? What does it mean to you to be able to do this? 스택 선수, 드디어 올라가네요. 참 그동안 많은 고난도 있었고, 눈물을 많이 흘리기도 했었는데 지금 기분이 어떤지부터 들어보고 싶습니다.
드디어 좀 결승이라는 무대에 와보는데 일단은 조금 아직까지는 실감이 잘 안 나지만 좀 냉정함을 유지하려고 노력 중이고 아직 끝난 거 아니니까 끝나고 이제 즐기도록 하겠습니다.
Well, yeah, grand finals. At last, we made it. But, you know, it's not over till it's over. So I'm just trying to remain calm and very humble. And we'll celebrate once we pick up that trophy.
ครับผมสำหรับคำถามนะครับผมนั่นก็คือว่าคุณเนี่ยเป็นทีมที่ไม่เคยได้ไปถึงจุดฝั่งฝันสักทีนะครับผมแต่วันนี้คุณได้มาเหยียบที่แกรนด์ไฟนอลแล้วรู้สึกยังไงบ้างนะครับแซคบอกว่ารู้สึกว่าภูมิใจนะครับผมแต่อย่างไรก็ตามประมาทก็ไม่ได้เหมือนกันเช่นเดียวกันครับ
And also, Buzz, you know how much you wanted this, right? What's on your mind right now? And tell me about this moment. 얼마나 간절했는지는 스스로가 가장 잘 알고 있을 거라고 생각하거든요. 지금 어떤 생각이 가장 먼저 들까요?
일단은 그 전에 대회를 경기를 치를 때는 조금 승리에 매달려서 조금 간절하게 했던 것 같은데 이번 대회는 뭔가 최대한 재밌게 즐기려고 했던 것 같고요. 그래서 덕분에 결승에 진출할 수 있지 않나 싶고 그리고 내일 결승도 최대한 재밌게 즐겨보도록 하겠습니다.
Well, looking back at the previous events, I felt like I was just chasing for the trophy, too anxious to win. But this one was different because I tried to enjoy the game itself and I was having so much fun. So when it comes to tomorrow, I'll try to have as much as fun as possible.
ครับผมและคำถามคล้ายๆกันนะฮะโอ้โหเหมือนไม่ต้องแปลอีกแล้ว แต่อย่างไรก็ตามครับผมคำถามคล้ายๆกันอยากรู้ความรู้สึกของบาสตอนนี้ครับผมเขาบอกว่าเมื่อก่อนเนี่ยเหมือนเราเล่นไปเพื่อที่อยากจะชนะเพื่อที่อยากจะเอาถ้วยแต่ในวันนี้เขารู้สึกว่าเขาอยากเล่นเพื่อสนุกไปกับเกมครับผมและพรุ่งนี้เขาก็จะทำให้ได้ดีที่สุดครับ
Now, lastly, you guys are on the verge of getting what you want. Just one more game tomorrow. RT1 getting their happy ending tomorrow. 이제 한 게임만 남았거든요. 트로피까지. 내일 해피 엔딩 T1 건가요?
네, 무조건 T1 겁니다.
Yeah, 100% happy ending is T1's tomorrow. Well, thank you and massive congrats.
และสำหรับคำถามสุดท้ายครับผมวันพรุ่งนี้คุณเข้ามาใกล้ที่สุดแล้วนะครับสำหรับความฝันของคุณที่วันจะทำได้หรือเปล่าครับผมตอบสั้นๆครับ 100% ครับ
Congratulations once again and one more time for T1.
Thank you so much for that, Jen and Isara. Appreciate it. And congratulations to T1, the second seeded team coming out of the Pacific region, a team that was rated in 8th coming into this event. And now they have punched their ticket to the grand finals here in Bangkok, Thailand.
You see what it means for Stax and Buzz. They took a real risk leaving DRX, the most storied Korean roster in the history of this game. They had to sit at home while another Korean team lifted the first trophy for their region. And now they're here in their first ever grand finals. It's such an incredible moment for those two.
Yeah, it definitely is, and with their own chance as well to create history, to cement themselves in the history books for Korean Valorant overall as well. This is their time in the sun, and Buzz and Stax have earned this all the way forwards here. They got to do it though. That final hurdle of the grand finals is going to be tomorrow, and as much as they've been saying, we've been playing and having fun, just trying not to think about the pressure too much, that is where the pressure is going to be great.
So did G2. They have fun up there as well if you talk to them about that.
Exactly so. So G2 are going to be such a hard opponent for them, I think, as well. It's not going to be the same stylistically, but I don't want to take anything away from T1 in this moment because they've done something astounding, honestly.
Yes.
A 3-1 defeat against the reigning champions of EDG, when they were matching them pound for pound in terms of the styles as well, and how weak they looked as well. Their growth and journey over the course of this tournament, it's just astounding.
It really is. And the fact that those guys get to go into their first final alongside one of the 5 players who have done it before for Korea, a chance to go to get a second trophy is so huge for Meteor after having a tough end to the year with Gen G losing to Sentinels the way they did at Champions Seoul at home in Korea, now getting to have another shot in Bangkok.
And you mentioning that second chance of a trophy for Meteor just reminded me as well that it's the exact same on the other side of things. We got Jorgamo, who is also doing it for G2. There's so many parities between these two teams that we have, where Jorgamo is doing it for the G2 boys who stuck together for Ascension. And listen, we've got Meteor who's also going to be trying to do it to help his compatriots lift the trophy themselves to get that honor that they've never had before. There's so much that's matching these two teams as they're coming together in our finals tomorrow. It's genuinely going to be sick.
But you want to know what's the difference between these two teams? Only one of them's got an Izu. That's right, baby. Izu was unfreaking believable in this series. The man was a human highlight reel, Mimi.
Ender said it in the cast. 4 agents across 4 different maps and having massively impactful performances on all of them. But this last map was icing on the cake. This round was absolutely astounding. The first time he opts this series, and he pulls that out. Izu has truly shocked everyone in Bangkok.
3 out of the 4 games, he was either in the first or second position kill column-wise for his team. That shows how much of an impact he had.
Dude, he's been lights out, to be honest. And as well, like, finally putting respect on Izu's name as well, because he was performing at this similar level, being clutch for them, just putting up the numbers, but just below Buzz and Meteor, because they were playing the Euro ISO comp and they were dominating. And if you're just looking at that, if you're Stat Stevens, of course you're going to be singing all the praises of them. But this is Izu's time in the sun here, because as you mentioned, there's not many players who can do it across multiple roles like that. Constantly chopping and changing. The entire reason that this T1 structure even works is because Izu is capable of flexing onto so many different roles. But yeah, dude, this guy is the triple threat. He's the third threat on this team alongside players like Buzz and Meteor. That's what makes T1 a danger.
Stax was hitting too. Let's not forget about that. Sylvan had some moments in the sun as well. I'm telling you, this T1 team's got all the pieces together, but unfortunately, that means we have to say goodbye to our 2024 World Champions, Edward Gaming, EDG. Now, this team came into the event with so much hype, so much excitement. People were really looking forward, Mimi, to seeing what this squad could do. Can they win? Can they potentially get themselves that trophy back-to-back? But unfortunately, the curse still stands.
It seemed like EDG had a chance to be the exception to the rule. Every other championship winning roster in Valorant has been picked apart after their big win. We didn't see Ascend again, Loud. They fell apart, and EG as well lost all their players. But these guys stuck together. They won another regional trophy. They made it back to another global event. But unfortunately for them, they fall just short of having a shot to defend their title.
Yeah, and the honor of having that back-to-back is going to be lost for them here now.
Yeah.
But genuinely, it's early days in the year. I mean, we're talking first event of the year. Still 2 more yet to play for as well. And they're looking like they've showed no signs of slowing down themselves. I think that they had some growing pains in terms of Kang trying to play the Euro and then swapping away from those comps across the board as they got deeper into the event itself. But listen, there's a lot of the year left to play for them.
Oh, yeah.
And losing is learning at the end of the day. For a team like EDG, you know they're going to be bouncing back at these international events.
Also, I mean, when all of your other colleagues in the past, as we had mentioned before, your rosters fell apart, nothing really came from it, they stuck together, and then they get top freaking 3? I mean, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Regardless of how you want to shake it, that's still an incredible achievement, a podium finish for the World Champions.
Just a year ago, not even at this point, we were in a place where we were talking about EDG bombing out of the first international event in China and having that massive disappointment. And from that, they went on to win a trophy in Seoul. So you definitely have to look towards the future for EDG. But that's how our tournament has played out. G2 versus T1. I think people would have expected one of those. But the ultimate, I mean, I think this is the greatest underdog run since Zeta Division at Reykjavik, what, 2-3 years ago now?
Yes, absolutely it is. I mean, when have we last seen a team do that? It has to be Zeta Division at Reykjavik in 2022.
Yeah.
So, dude, T1 making it this far, there was many reasons to be a doubter of T1, and I kept fretting against them. And I was like, God damn T1, why do you keep winning when you're chopping and changing your players, when your compositions aren't adhering to the meta that we're seeing with all the Euro being played mainly, and they're moving away from everything. Some of their comps didn't even make any sense. Doesn't matter, man. You get shot in the face, you die, and suddenly T1 are winning games, bro.
Yeah,
T1 are winning games. They're doing it in style.
Yeah, it is. I also got to think, too, about the fact that this is going to be a fresh matchup. Right, where T1 and G2 have not, crossed paths in this competition yet. And if I'm G2, I probably would have been expecting to play EDG.
Yeah.
And now you kind of get a spanner thrown into the works because you only got a day to prep, and you're seeing what T1's bringing to the table, and it's quite interesting, Mimi.
G2 said themselves that they were expecting to play EDG for a 3rd time this tournament in the finals, but that's not how it's going to end. I'm just so excited to get that final started.
I know, it's going to be awesome. Now, folks, make sure that you at home are punctual, okay? Because we're going to be starting the day 5 p.m. local time. If you're on the West Coast or East Coast in America, that's 5 a.m. local time for a huge reveal. A new duelist agent. You'll immediately see them in action in a killer show match. You got TENS and Team International versus Superbus and Team Thailand. I think CGRS might be in play. There could be some big names walking up on that stage. It's going to be quite exciting, and you don't want to miss it. This is it, guys.
Yeah. Listen, so I'm casting a show match.
Yeah.
I've seen the agent. I'm under NDA. I'll just say the agent's crazy, and it's going to be very fun, and you should all tune in, and you should all watch, because it's going to be crazy. Anything else, I'm going to get fired. So.
Yes, zip it. We got to protect it. All right, folks. Well, that is going to do it for us here. We thank you so much for joining us, and don't forget to join us tomorrow, 5 p.m. local time, yet again, for the show match, and of course, the epic conclusion of Masters Bangkok. We got tuk-tuks all over the place, baby. We'll catch you tomorrow for the grand finals. It's the salty run back we've all been waiting for. T1 gets an opportunity to get revenge on EDG, and let's see how the chips fall.
And EDG look like they're going to try and force themselves out. No one's looking at Izu. And it's an ace to kick off the day.
It's a lot on Izu's shoulders. A bit of a superstar in the making.
And now Izu is turning it around.
It's not over yet. The time is ticking. Nobody's going to be ice cold about this one. You can't lose it like this.
Kong Kong's gonna be sending it into lamps. What is going on?
It's only him. Meteor will not relent. He will not give up his sight. And he's going to punish every single one. Map 1, like a dagger to the heart of EDG. T1 trying to hold on, but Kong Kong is tearing him apart. Kong Kong daring Stacks to take a look. He says he'll have a go, but Kong Kong just that bit better. Keeps EDG with a gap in the lead.
Early undercut, and Kong Kong's up just doesn't pay off.
It's a little bit trickier. Chi-Chu dead as well. Buzz is just coming alive here. He's still going to do a lot more though. Oh, Buzz! He's going nuclear on the side. Oh, it's incredible from Buzz! Unbelievable. Meteor is keeping so many players and he's still thriving. Outnumbered on the side. He's still standing. Just dropping body after body. T1 13-10, looking bulletproof at the end there.
T1 are one map away from moving to the finals.
An operator could have been in play. Swing together. Meteor, but he's been hurt. Oh, but it doesn't matter. Oh my God! Chi-Chu! Out of nowhere! Put to bed. The main danger man would have been Meteor here. Buzz! Oh! 3 big kills! Under pressure, looking to throw in front! He looks out of his mind right now! We're about to have a 5v5 on B pretty much. Izu! There's nowhere to get up! Oh, he's not alive anymore! Kong puts him in their grave! Meteor trying to dig in deeper! Kong, he's not letting you escape! EDG! Still alive!
The crowd in here is electric. EDG have entered the building.
Back towards pillar, I guess, so fight forward! Fight for your life! Buzz takes Kong out of the sky! Silver there, Buzz again! T1 not letting him through, this is T1 confidence sky high now! Someone help him! Sylvan instantly checks him though. It doesn't feel like they've got much building here, Sylvan. Put it on a show. They keep pushing, but Buzz answers back. You want a brawl? We'll give you a brawl. And Buzz having his moment. Closing in on the thing that they've dreamed of since the very start here. Something of their wildest dreams coming true. T1 are going to the finals.